Today on Studio 13 Live, the best and the worst of the Super Bowl commercials. Yep, we're showing you the good and the bad.
Plus, we hope you're hungry. Chef Bobby from Bees on Main is here to cook up some amazing food.
And hey, the Masked Singer kicks off this week. We're talking with Thicke about the upcoming season.
And finally, if you're behind on Valentine's Day preparations, don't worry, we've got you covered. Local florists stopping by to share tips and tricks on making a perfect flower arrangement. Studio 13 Live starts right now.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today. It's happening.
Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us today on this Monday morning. We are so excited to have you. I'm Carly Henderson.
And I'm Mireya Garcia. And hey, happy Galentine's Day.
Happy Galentine's Day.
I love it. If you celebrate, it's the pre-Valentine's Day holiday where you celebrate all the wonderful, talented ladies in your life.
Yeah, we've got some good kind of Galentine's vibes going. We're doing some flower arranging today. We were both saying right before the start, we're so excited to do that. So that's going to be really fun.
So another major topic, of course, was the Super Bowl. Did you watch?
I watched the halftime show, the most important part.
I watched a lot of the game, half of the game, and I definitely watched the halftime show. So the part, of course, we were most excited about was Rihanna's halftime show.
Yeah, this marked Rihanna's long-awaited return to live performing.
Feel it coming in the air, hear the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to the thrill. It's a dangerous love affair. Can't be scared when it goes down. Got a problem? Tell me now. Only thing on my mind, still gonna run this town tonight.
So Rihanna sang and danced to a dozen hits, including Umbrella, Diamonds, and Work. You know, she said the hardest part of the show was fitting her 18-year catalog into a 13-minute set. That makes me feel old. 18 years. I mean, I feel like I was there from the beginning.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you know what? I was really impressed. Well, one, that I knew all the songs.
Yeah.
Like you said, we've been there. We've been fans.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was an impressive performance, but it was also a little divisive, I want to say.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody felt the same way about it.
Well, how did you feel about it?
Don't hit me with anything, okay?
I'm not going to hit you.
I love Rihanna. Always a fan. I will scream her name until the end of time. She is the best. But I don't know. I thought that the fact that the backup dancers were just moving so much and creating a lot of energy, it made it seem like Rihanna wasn't giving a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not going to disagree with you on that. You know, I thought the halftime show, it was fun to see her perform again, right? We'd been waiting 6 years for this. And it was fine. It wasn't a bad performance. Like, it was enjoyable. It was cool. I thought the production value of it was cool. I thought it looked good. It was just different than other Super Bowl shows. I usually expect my pop star to fly in from the ceiling and there to be outfit changes and just lots of movement and dancing. And obviously there was a reason she wasn't moving around so much. She was just more like standing and wiggling and doing her thing. It was still enjoyable. Like, it wasn't a bad performance. It just wasn't the level, I think, so many fans and myself were expecting after such a long break from public performances.
Yes, and you are touching on something else we're going to talk about. Okay, so the halftime show had a lot of people wondering if she was expecting. She appeared to cradle a baby bump during the performance, and a rep has confirmed she is expecting a baby with A$AP Rocky. This will be her second child, and she had her first child in May of last year. And you know, it is so dangerous to assume. Nothing annoys me more than when someone assumes that somebody's pregnant. But I mean, I gotta tell you, I was there with everybody else, like standing real close to the TV trying to decide what I was seeing.
Right, yeah, you never want to assume, but that's a quick turnaround.
It was,
I also don't blame her for it though, right?
No,
I mean, obviously she got in tip-top shape for the Super Bowl, but it's kind of like nice to just bang them out, right? Pop them out,
Yes,
you know?
I think so. So you know what? And yes, some people just choose to certainly have their babies a lot closer together and some space them apart. So we celebrate her decision, whatever her decision is, of course. But it was also, you know, whether or not we thought the energy level was there, it is impressive for her to have suited up and done this performance, although she was up really high and it was making me nervous for sure.
I know, right? And I could have sworn that Jay-Z would have been her special guest. But her special
I was waiting
guest
for a special
was
guest.
the bebe. Was the bebe reveal. It was so sweet too to see A$AP Rocky watching her perform. If you looked here, you can see him being a proud partner and taking videos of her and dancing and just kind of jamming out here. I thought that was the cutest thing.
Yeah, that really warmed my heart. I love to see a supportive partner.
Yeah.
It was really great.
It was awesome.
Another person going viral for their performance last night is the interpreter.
Yeah, so she was the real star of the show, in my opinion. It was Rihanna's ASL translator, Justina Miles. So as you see here, her dance moves off the charts. Like, she really seemed to be having the time of her life signing Rihanna's performance. You know, she's a Philadelphia-born performer, and she's impressively performed music in ASL at a number of national concerts. She also translated Lift Every Voice and Sing, which was sung by Cheryl Lee Ralph before the game. Like, she was so much fun. I was watching on YouTube, I was watching them side by side, and I kept watching Justina.
Well, she was like hitting it. So you gotta love it. It was just such a beautiful way of, you know, as a hearing person, seeing how the community, you know, who is hard of hearing or cannot hear, how they're able to experience this music and how it is still an event to be celebrated.
Yeah, she's such a star. She's so cool. We also turned to the internet to see what everyone had to say about Rihanna's Super Bowl halftime performance. So let's take a look at some of these. We've got Rihanna's baby during the performance, just kind of bumping around in there.
A little Shakira action, absolutely. Rihanna, always be promoting Fenty. You gotta love a little moment like that.
I like that. I didn't mind that, to be honest. Rihanna, look out.
I love that little video game reference, absolutely. Oh, watching Rihanna perform Umbrella. We got the coach there shedding a tear.
We got Rihanna's backup dancer, a little throwback to Mean Girls.
And then, of course, the 60K fans waiting to watch Rihanna, pretending they came to watch the Eagles and Chiefs Super Bowl. Gotta love a little Adele moment there.
I love it. I think we were just talking about that last week after the Grammys, like one of the best parts of any major, you know, live event is turning to Twitter and seeing what everyone has to say. And you guys had some good things to say. Rihanna wasn't the only musical artist who rocked the house at the Super Bowl last night. Chris Stapleton actually brought down the house with an amazing rendition of the national anthem.
Oh, the ramparts we walk were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular upon her singing through the night that our flag was still there.
The voice of an icon, if you ask me, you know, really brought a tear to my eye, but I wasn't the only one. Stapleton's performance actually moved Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni to tears. He wasn't the only one. I just saw like so many little tears in everybody's eyes. You saw a little bit of that video. And you can imagine that he, of course, you know, became a meme on social media, but people loved it. This is the pinnacle of his career, and then to feel all that emotion, I thought it was beautiful to see, honestly.
Yeah, it was a cool take on the national anthem, too. Another star of the show, Donna Kelsey. She's the mom of Chiefs player Travis Kelsey and Eagles player Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, so she wore something amazing. It was all custom, baby. This is what she wore to the Super Bowl. She tweeted out this photo showing off her shirt, shoes, which were half for the Chiefs, half for the Eagles, and she captioned the photo, #GameDayFit. Yeah, baby. She was also a special guest of NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Oh my gosh, this had to be a tough one for mom, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, that's so cute though. What a proud moment, you know? Good choice to have to split your allegiance regions between.
I know. Gotta make sure you support both your boys. And of course, you can't talk about the Super Bowl without talking about the ads.
Yeah, we wanted to chat about which ads worked and which ones kind of missed the mark. So we're actually going to bring in an award-winning marketing expert to help us break it all down. So joining us today, we've got Scott Battishill. He is the CEO and principal of Curator PR, and his firm works with brands like Delta Airlines and Domino's Pizza. Hey, Scott, how you doing?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good. Was it just us, or did it seem like the ads this year were like a little meh compared to previous years?
No, I think that's fair. I think it's really interesting because the Super Bowl, typically, it's the one time a year that we actually pay attention. We want to pay attention to the ads. We're not muting them or fast forwarding through them. So it's the time when marketers put the most sort of effort and bang against creating something pretty amazing. And what they're often doing is trying to figure out how they can create something that's going to help people jump platforms. How do you go from the TV commercial to Twitter to their website and so forth? This year, it felt like we saw a lot of pretty standard spots. They were great. I think we had some really fun spots and really entertaining spots. But it was sort of a look back at the way they used to do it versus the innovative spots we've seen in the past. So I agree with you.
So, of course, you are an expert in brand marketing. Tell us what it is that makes a Super Bowl commercial good.
Well, whether it be a Super Bowl commercial or any other sort of spot that you do or any kind of campaign you create, it really relies on identifying an amazing insight. So something that allows the consumer to sort of immediately say, well, this is for me. So that's step one. And then step two is creating a form of media that allows you to go directly to that consumer. So it's very pinpointed. And then you have the Super Bowl, which is mass media. So, now you have your entire audience watching plus every other person who may or may not interact with your product or your service. So it has to have that amazing insight. It has to sort of capture everyone's attention because typically people watch these as parties and it's loud. And so how do you get everyone to sort of quiet down and listen? And then it has to stand the test of today. It has to be, people still have to be talking about it.
Mm-hmm. And I know you put together 3 ads that you thought worked. So let's start with the first one, Dodge Ram.
Yeah, this spot was really interesting to me because it was one of the few of everything that I saw yesterday that was pretty provocative. They took a really good insight. Everyone that owns an EV or wants to own an EV is afraid of, we call it range anxiety, but they're calling it premature electrification, which is just running out before you get there, right? And so it was a really interesting way of identifying the common problem that people worry about and then creatively talking about how they solved it. It was a good spot.
I thought that one was funny. I thought that would be super awkward to watch with your family, though, I have to say.
Now let's hear about the Google Pixel commercial.
Yeah, this was a really good spot. So again, sort of an insight. We all have our phones completely filled with images of our kids and family and events we go to and vacations. And so many of them have weird little things that we wish we could get rid of, right? And so this one absolutely sort of nailed it in terms of a need that people have. And then they expressed it in a really fun way. I thought it was a really good spot.
That was really clever. What about popcorners?
I never watched Breaking Bad, but this is one of those ones where sometimes when you bring in celebrities or you try to mimic something from the past, it gets so caught up in that thing that it's less about the product. And I thought, even though I wasn't familiar with the show, the spot was fantastic because all they did was deliver key messages about, kind of brand attributes about the product, Popcorners. But in a really fun way, in a way that's really memorable. And so they did a really nice job with that spot.
All right. Now, before we wrap up, I have to know, do you think that M&M's commercial missed the mark?
I think they missed the mark by a country mile.
Oof.
You think about how much it costs, right? It costs $7 million just to buy the time to be on the Super Bowl, let alone the cost of working with that really wonderful actress in Mireya Rudolph. And then the brand and the creative team, the strategist, and all the folks that go into building a spot, it's incredibly expensive. And then to really sort of have the entire spot just talking about things that are really unappealing about the product, it was a miss given all the talent they had. And she's fantastic, but it just didn't come off.
Oh, Scott, we really appreciate your insight. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Thanks again. And we have posted more information about Curator PR on our website. That's fox13seattle.com/studio13live.
And coming up, we are checking in with our friends at TMZ. We're going to be talking about what's popping off in the world of entertainment,
including Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce's epic Super Bowl celebration with the Chainsmokers. Hey, hello. It is time to take a look at what's poppin' in celebrity news.
Yeah, and for that, we are bringing in Fabian Garcia from TMZ. Hey, Fabian, how you doing today?
Hey, good morning, you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to see you. So Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce had a pretty epic Super Bowl celebration with the Chainsmokers last night. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, that's right. After the win, obviously they were in the mood to celebrate, which they did. They were at the Hyatt Regency over in Scottsdale. The Chainsmokers were the big headlining act. They brought everybody on stage. They were just raging on stage. Jason Derulo also performed. So did DJ Khaled. Basically just a typical Super Bowl win bash, essentially. And they deserved it. They won in the end, despite all the Eagles fans who are super pissed off this morning. But yeah, congratulations to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They won it and they deserved it.
I have to say, I just kept wondering, is Selena Gomez in attendance of this party, or what's going on? Maybe that's fizzled a little bit.
I have no knowledge of Selena Gomez being there whatsoever. It seemed like more of a guys kind of get together sort of thing. That's usually what these things turn out to be anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're out there, and I guess we'll see them at Disneyland soon enough here. That's usually the go-to.
True. So Damar Hamlin shared a recovery update after his cardiac arrest last month, and he's hoping to play football once again. What is the latest you have on that?
Yeah, so obviously DeMar was at the game. He was there in person. He's still seemingly doing really well. But he also sat for an interview with Michael Strahan, and it was pretty revealing. Strahan straight up asked him, like, do you want to play football again? He said, yes, that's the plan. That's the ultimate goal, obviously. I'd love to get back on the field. But he was also kind of wary and hesitant about the timeline here. Strahan was pushing him for details on, like, what exactly what have doctors said? And it sounds like the doctors are telling him to take caution here because obviously it was a life-threatening injury he sustained. He went into cardiac arrest. He literally almost died. And because his recovery has been going so well and it's been going so fast, I think a lot of people are under the misconception that, oh, he's going to be able to get back on the field right away. That's not the case. But Damar Hamlin seems determined to find a way, even if it happens to happen slowly. He wants to get back on the field. And if he does, that'll be one of the biggest comeback stories of all time. So wishing him well, and it'd be great to see him back on there again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that it's going to be such a difficult decision, but he obviously has a love of the game, but you can't ignore your health.
Right. It's hard, though, when you're so passionate about something.
Right, because there are still risks, obviously, but if he wants to get out there and he can do it safely, more power to him.
All right, Fabian, thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, you guys.
For sure. We'll catch you next time. All right, coming up, The Work Seattle is joining us in studio to share some flower arrangement tips for Valentine's Day.
Carly and I are so excited about this. Stick around. We'll be right back. I am so excited about what's about to happen, everybody. So whether you are grabbing flowers at Trader Joe's or a local farmer's market, you can learn how to design professional-looking flower arrangements at home.
Yeah, The Work Seattle offers a variety of creative classes, including how to create the best shape and structure with different types of flowers. And joining us to share some tips and tricks to impress your loved ones this Valentine's Day, founder of The Work Seattle, Kelly Phelan. Hey.
Hey, good morning.
Good to see you again. We met when I came and did that fun mocktail making class.
That's right.
Tell us some more about all the other cool classes you have going on.
Yeah, we call ourselves The Works because we do a little bit of everything. So cooking classes, all kinds of different botanical topics, everything else in the creative realm, watercolor, punch needle, block printing. Yeah, we do a little bit of everything.
Wonderful. So I think that a very timely tip right now is how do we keep our flowers looking beautiful or make beautiful arrangements even if the flowers are looking droopy?
Yes, great question. This is definitely a timely one. I like to think about, you know, all Seattleites, we love picking up flowers at the farmers markets or at our favorite grocery store, and they look beautiful when they come home. And if all you do is undo the paper and plop them in a vase, that's great too. But if you sort your flowers into piles and have a little bit of design tips in mind, you can kind of take your grocery store bouquet to the next level.
I love it. You want to show us how to kind of create that shape and structure?
Yeah, so the first thing I like to say is, when we think about flower arrangements, and if you're ever gifted flowers, like for Valentine's Day, oftentimes they'll come in a clear vase, which is beautiful. But a pro tip just right off the bat is if you use a ceramic vessel versus glass, right away it makes your arrangement pop because you're not looking at the stems, you're focusing right in on the flowers. So
it looks more luxurious, I would say.
It really does, yes.
I like that word.
Yeah.
My next pro tip is, I don't know if you can see this, but right here I've got halfway built what's called an armature. So remember the days of floral foam?
Yes.
So floral foam isn't great for the environment, so we're sort of beyond using that. But this is floral tape. You can pick it up around town at any of the craft stores or floral supply. And all I'm doing is making a kind of a 3x3 grid here. As I get tape tangled on my hands, just to give myself. This is great if you consider yourself a total newbie to floral arranging. This is just right off the bat going to give you some structure and let you think about your shape. Okay. So that's what that looks like when it's finished. It just gives you some holes to work with. And I was saying on this horizontal shape arrangement, the first thing I did was set my structure. And so if I had been trying to do that just with stems, they kind of wobble around. You can't get what you want. So this gives you some structure to get started. And eventually you have enough stems in your arrangement that you maybe don't need it as much. But this is a really good way to get started.
Okay. And do we start with the blooms or with the leaves?
We start with the leaves. So I did one with greenery here.
This already looks pretty.
Honestly, this little bloom that's in here, he broke on the way over, so I just stuck him in there. So that's why he's living there.
We still love him.
We like to use what we can. So this finished one is a horizontal shape. This in-process one is more of a centralized shape, kind of classic arrangement. So just to demonstrate the difference, we're working with the exact same kind of materials here, but the difference of what you can do. You can also do more of a radiating shape, so kind of that wild, whimsical, which is one of my favorite looks. So what I've done here is, you can't see it, but underneath is the tape, the armature, and then I put my water in. Floral tape will stick to anything when it's dry, and then you can add water after. This is definitely different than, don't try to do this with Scotch tape. You'll be disappointed.
I would have done that.
I would have done that. Good tip.
Yeah, so then the greens we're working with here are eucalyptus. I chose this because even at Trader Joe's, you can always pick up just, your whatever blooms you like from the affordable flower bin, and then grab an extra pack of eucalyptus. That's another tip for you, because these arrangements, part of what makes them look kind of next level is the amount of greenery. You can even go foraging if you've got a backyard garden, get creative. Nice. In the winter, you can use sticks and blooms. So this is already set up to be centralized. And the next thing I like to do is start adding blooms. So we've got foundation blooms and we've got statement blooms. I brought roses because it's Valentine's Day.
Yes, absolutely.
Give them a sniff.
You accept this rose?
I'll accept that.
Here's a few other design tips for you. Let me take one of these long ones. So this, if I just stick it in like this, is going to be way too long.
Yeah.
So here's a rule of thumb that you can kind of just put in the back of your brain. And you can just measure this on the table, even at home. So in general, I would look for your stem to be 1.5 times, no more, than the height of your vessel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's the height of my vessel plus like half. And then I'm just going to measure that, hold it, measure it on the table, hold it with my hand. By the way, you can do this with scissors at home if that's all you've got. These are just pruners, nothing fancy. A lot of folks who garden will have these too. And just give it a snip. And now, remember, you can always take more, but you can't
put it
back. So when in doubt, start slow. Then I do like to take the leaves, any leaves that will be below the water line, I like to take off for 2 reasons. One, it helps keep your water clean, and that makes your bouquet or your arrangement last longer. And 2, if you're going to change your mind about the placement of this, which I inevitably do, you're going to be able to take it in and out much more easily if the leaves aren't there to get stuck. So I like to just start playing, right? I'm going with a centralized look. The other thing I like to think about at home is, where am I going to put this? Is it going to be on the dining room table? And so you want to be able to have it look good all around. Or is it going to be a horizontal piece that's more like on an entryway table, and it actually is going to have a forward-facing orientation.
That is beautiful.
And then I just encourage folks to play. So you know, everybody's got their own unique style. You cannot do this wrong. The one that I trimmed here to show you all, I think is a little long, so I'm going to pull it back out.
Okay.
Take another inch and a half off of it, place it back in. And so we're working with roses today. This is actually a mum, and so also classic, like very available grocery store flowers. We
And tulips in season right now.
We can mix them.
Yeah,
Everybody's
beautiful.
probably familiar with the rule of threes, right? So aesthetically to the eye, things look better in odd numbers. So I like to go for 3s or 5s. And then I like to think about in a grocery store bouquet, or if I'm piecing this together, you know, from the market, what's a touch of whimsy? Because it's like a little unexpected.
something fun.
And so tulips are a great example of that, locally grown, coming into season. There's all kinds of little, like, you know,
Fun
textures.
stuff we can do. Well, this is so amazing and fun. We're going to keep playing with this, but I do want to thank you for coming to visit us. And you can, of course, check out the works. And there are many creative classes, including macrame plant hanging, screen printing, beeswax candles, candle making. So it's all very, very fun. We do have a link up on our website, fox13seattle.com/Studio13Live.
And still to come here on Studio 13 Live, I'm going to get to become a winemaker for the day.
Yeah, we're taking you to Chateau Ste. Michelle in a winery where you can learn to blend your own wine. Carly got to do this. I cannot wait to see.
We already showed you a tour of the famous Chateau Ste. Michelle winery, and did you know you can actually learn to blend wine there? Well, I headed to Woodinville to try out becoming a winemaker for the day. Hello, I am here at Chateau Ste. Michelle, and I am so excited because today we are going to learn how to blend wine. All this different wine. So let's get into it. This is Lauren.
Hi.
Lauren, we have got a lot of wine in front of us.
We do. This is one of our experiences here at Chateau Ste. Michelle. It is where you get to basically pretend to be a winemaker for the day. But you get to go through from start to finish, taste through all of them, see which ones you like, which ones you don't like, and then essentially this is the same thing our winemakers do. They'll sit down, taste, and then they'll kind of start to put together a blend using these cylinders. So
Scientist vibes right here. Do I look like a scientist yet? So if someone signs up for one of these blend experiences, how many different types of wine are we trying?
So you're going to be trying these 6 wines in front of you, plus you're going to be able to make your own blend and try it out a couple times because sometimes you may not like the first blend
Get it
you make.
to perfection.
Yes, exactly. I like to kind of start off with what we call the 5 S's of tasting wine. First S is seeing, right? So you're just looking at it. I mean, if I told you this was a Malbec and it looked white, that would probably be wrong. Next is to swirl it. So you can either do it on the table, which I do because I spill on myself a lot.
Tell me the tricks for swirling, because yours looks really cool.
Do small little circles, like your hand's not moving. There you go. Are you a lefty too?
It's more of a dance party for mine.
And the next thing we'll do is smelling it. You can smell a lot more than you can taste.
Okay.
So
Full
smelling
stick on the
it,
nostril
just
in?
Stick it all the way in. If you need to get your nose wet, that's fine.
Smells delightful.
And then we're sipping it, so that's everyone's favorite part, right? So take a small sip in, really swish it around like mouthwash.
It's delightful. Ooh, it changes flavor as you're sipping it.
Yeah, so that's kind of
It's a little journey, a flavor journey.
There's no right or wrong here.
Okay.
There's no correct formula for what's going to taste good because we all love different things.
What words do I use? What's the terminology? How do we, sound like we know what we're talking about with wine?
So honestly, a lot of it comes with practice, but it's also just really what comes to your mind, because for me, something could smell like my grandma's basement, and you don't know what that smells like. Only I do.
Grandma's
So
basement.
if you need,
Got it.
We also have some words on here that kind of help to describe each of the varieties too. So the Malbec, I think you kind of talked about it being like rich and juicy earlier. I'd say velvety, for like that smoothness that comes with it.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna write buttery and rich. And how should I hold my wine glass? Like this?
Yeah.
What's the right way? I'm really
kinda-
bad at etiquette.
Typically holding it by the base so that you're
Down
not
here.
kind of warming up the wine.
Okay.
Anywhere on the base is completely fine. Just also makes it easier for swirling.
How long should you swirl for? Like 10
Honestly,
swirls?
just
How many?
just a few.
a few.
Nothing crazy.
Okay.
just to help release those.
Ooh, I love the smell of that one. I like the smell of this one, but I like the taste of the first one.
When you're blending, you can think about that and be like, well, really like the taste, so maybe I want a lot of this, but kind of add in a bit of this because you love the aroma.
So Merlot is next.
Merlot is next.
Classic. I mean, that's delightful too. That's great.
It's hard to make a choice when you like them all.
I know. Easy to drink. I'm just gonna write that down.
So this is our Cold Creek, as I mentioned, coming from a warmer area. This one might be a little punchier than the last one.
Punchier, okay. Challenge accepted. I like this. This one has a strong personality. How many of these wines do you usually put into one blend? Is it like 2? Is it 5? What are we working with?
It's whatever you want to do. When you're blending, it's like, well, I really liked the softness of this Malbec, but I think, you know, a little bit of grippiness from Cabernet, together they make a better wine than just, you know, the
That sounds like a relationship that's gonna last.
Exactly. Exactly. So go ahead and grab your cylinder.
Okay.
Use this one or that one.
Science time.
Oh, whoops. And then filling this up to whatever the percentages that you're going for. So I'll let you do it.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna do 50% of this Malbec.
Moving on to that Merlot that you liked. I think you said 30% of that one.
Yes. Fill that up to the 95. Okay. And then just a little 5% sprinkle of the Cab. And then how do we blend it, or did it just blend itself?
So it does kind of just blend itself. Then go ahead and pour your blend in there.
The whole thing?
Go for it, yeah.
Oh, that's such a teeny.
I know.
This looks like so much wine, and it's so little in this glass. What the heck? How did that turn into that? I mean, should I be a winemaker? I feel like this turned out great the first time.
I always recommend doing it a second time because you just never know if sometimes maybe your second blend might have just been a little bit better.
Blend number 2. Let's go. Okay. So now we're gonna take this and put it in this. So do I just pour or?
Just pour.
All right. I've never filled a bottle of wine before. Okay, so now we're gonna cork it. Okay.
And I know it'll feel like you're gonna break it, but you won't.
Really?
Going. Yep. Push.
Oh my gosh! I feel like.
There you go.
Ooh. Okay.
Lift it up. Your bottle.
It's my bottle of wine.
Yeah, it is.
That's so exciting. I've never made a bottle of wine before. I'm so proud.
We'll put a little foil on the top.
Okay. Well, I think it needs a name, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So if you want to put a label on it and you can name it,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
I'm gonna call it the Waffles blend because that's my dog and I just love him. I blended wine today and now I have a bottle to show for it. Cheers. So this is my blend of wine. It's so cool to actually have this tangible little souvenir from the whole experience. If you want to become a winemaker for the day at Chateau Ste. Michelle, be sure to head to our website, fox13seattle.com/studio13live for all the info.
I love it.
Yeah.
So fun.
It was so fun. We've had good memories there. I've gotten to do all this cool stuff. And you can see my little dog Waffles or a fluffy cloud. Either way.
Either way. Cute either way. I love it. What a great thing to do with people
so
in your
fun.
life. Yeah. All right, still ahead, we are chatting with Robin Thicke about the new season of The Masked Singer.
Yeah, he's going to tell us all about the cool new twist on the show. And fellas, he's got some Valentine's Day advice for you. We'll be right back.
Fox's hit show, The Masked Singer, is back for season 9 and it has a new format.
Joining us to talk about it, one of the panelists, Robin Thicke. Hey, Robin, how are you today?
Woo! Well, it's post-Super Bowl hangover Monday morning. You know, we're feeling it. We're loving it.
That's all good. You got the sunglasses, so you're covered. Huge congrats on the success.
Oh, yeah. No, these are for you. Trust me. You don't want to see what's under here. It's not pretty.
Okay, we got to talk about Masked Singer because season 9 is about to kick off. That's so impressive, by the way. 9 seasons of the show. And the show is switching it up a little bit this season. So kind of give us a scoop on this fun new ding-dong, keep it on bell that we're hearing about.
Well, to be honest, the last 2 seasons, they really, rejuvenated the whole franchise. And we had these theme nights, and we send 2 contestants home every night and unmask 2 people every night. And it's made it more exciting, and it's become a whole brand new experience for us as panelists and fans of the show. And the Ding Dong Keep It On bell, obviously Nick Cannon could have used this a few times, but the Ding Dong Keep It On bell gives us a chance to save a contestant at the very last second, right before they unmask. Each round, we can save 1 person. So it makes it a little more electric, and it gives us a chance to say, maybe this guy or this girl belongs in the finale, and we should give him a chance. 1 last chance.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So since you're recovering from having a lot of fun, maybe you'll answer this question.
Yes.
What is something...
I'm recovering from Rihanna right now.
So what is something...
Riri done took me down last night.
She took us all down, man. That was a big surprise.
Woo!
So tell us what people would be surprised to learn about your Masked Singer castmates.
Well, Ken has his own private dressing room, and he has hedges around. And the other day I saw him asking for more hedges. So we have to deal with that ego. But besides Ken's ego, it's really a wonderful time.
Oh no.
I want to talk about this because we are all getting ready for Valentine's Day tomorrow. I know you're engaged. What do you think is the key to a successful Valentine's Day?
Oh, a little bit of surprise and a little bit of expectation. You want to give the person you love something that they're expecting, and you want to surprise them with something that they weren't expecting. I think that's the key.
What a great
tip.
That's a good answer. I love it. So I was chatting with Carly, and she says that she saw...
I'm well trained. I'm well trained at this point.
I love it. Carly saw on your Instagram that you're working on a new album. So talk to me about that and what's inspiring you in this process.
I'm very excited. The last 4 years, my house burned down in the Malibu fires 4 years ago. And we've been living on the road, and I've had 3 children since then. And so we finally moved back into our Malibu property, and everything is set up just the way I wanted it for the kids. And I'm feeling like I'm in heaven, and I've got my studio. And so the last couple of months, I've been very creative in making a whole bunch of new records. And I'm very excited to have a new album for people this year.
Oh my God, that must feel so good to be home after all of that. What else are you most looking forward to?
It's the best feeling.
Oh my God, I bet. What are you looking most forward to for the rest of 2023?
Well, honestly, just to enjoy being at home, having a home,
Yeah.
And my kids being happy and taking them to school every day and making some great music and going on a tour later in the fall and just enjoying my life. You work so hard to get to a point where you can have some peace and calm. So now I am really enjoying the Masked Singer and enjoying making music and enjoying being with my kids.
For sure. What's your favorite way to kind of unwind and stay zen and stay calm like that?
I do yoga sometimes. I try to get the yoga in 2 or 3 times a week. But honestly, being with my kids is the zen, because I'm still have ambition for my music, and I have to leave sometimes to go film the Masked Singer, and I'm not here to put them to bed on those days. So in between those days, I make sure that I'm present and available for my kids.
For sure. And I feel like people are so divided about the Super Bowl last night. Obviously, you're saying you watched it and you watched Rihanna and everything. What's your take on this? Do you think she killed it? Do you think it was lower energy? Obviously
we started drinking tequila. We were drinking tequila before the game started. So all I know is Rihanna was wearing red, and she was amazing. I don't remember much else.
I love it. That is an excellent answer. Raman, thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait to check out the new season.
It's really amazing. We've never had more fun filming it. I mean, these last 2 seasons have just been incredible, and I really want everybody to reintroduce themselves to the show because it is that much fun to watch.
Awesome. Can't wait. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. God bless.
Bye. All right, coming up, Chef Bobby Moore from Beast on Main is here to make some delicious ravioli. I'm hungry just thinking about it. We'll be right back. It is time for Emerald Eats, where we highlight amazing food in our area.
Yeah, today we are joined by Executive Chef Bobby Moore with Bees on Main. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Good to see you. What are we
Good to see
cooking
you.
up today?
Well, we are cooking with our sweethearts.
Yes,
okay?
of course.
Yeah.
So I picked something that we can do together. And what more fun than to make pasta together, make raviolis.
I love it.
Something really super interactive. So, and Dungeness crab raviolis at
Yum.
that. And, you know, Pacific Northwest right here in a bowl. Voila. So we're going to make pasta. I'm going to tell you how to make pasta. And we're going to roll into the filling. We've got some shallots that are going right there that we're going to do a little sauteed shallots with some Swiss chard and then make a little beurre blanc.
Let's get
Amazing.
started.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
All right. So pasta at home, everybody. I use 00. And I recommend a half a cup of flour per 1 egg. So for the recipe that I made today for this little bitty dough ball right here, that'll make probably, I'd say about 8 raviolis. I did 1.5 cups of flour, 3 eggs, 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a pinch of salt, and a little bit of water. And that's like the perfect, it feels so good. It's perfect dough,
Yeah.
okay? I rolled it out to a number 5 right here for us to be able to make some raviolis. So all the pasta's ready to go.
Let's
Great.
do it.
And
Yeah.
what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take some of this beautiful Dungeness crab. And what's great right now is the price of crab came down a little bit, so it's a little
Ooh,
bit more
very
affordable.
very
It got a little cray there for a minute. And then, so a little bit of Dungeness crab in there, right? Some mascarpone. I did about 8 ounces of crab, and I'd say it's about a half a cup of mascarpone.
I've never
And-
seen mascarpone like that, I have to say. I don't know what it
haven't?
looked like on its own. It's always just mixed in
With
with
something.
you know?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Teaching
yeah.
us things.
Teaching you. And then it's citrus season, so I've got some beautiful Meyer lemons. My favorite kitchen tool right here.
Yes.
Lemon squeezer.
Everybody would think it would be a knife, but it's this thing right here. Margaritas in the summer.
Yes.
Very good.
So just squeeze a little bit of that Meyer lemon juice in there. And then I like to spice things up a little bit. So a little bit of, it's like everything I do, it's like a little bit of chili flake, a little bit of chili flake here.
Yes.
A little pinch of some salt. I also put in a little bit of some extra virgin olive oil. This is trompetti. This is one of my favorites as well. And then we will chop up a little bit of tarragon. Okay.
And what flavor
Fresh.
does tarragon kind of give us?
Oh my God, like a licoricey. It's
Oh,
really
yum.
great
Okay.
with seafood like crab and lobster. So we're just gonna chop some of that up. And then we'll have our filling done after we mix it up a little bit.
And what do you think makes a meal at home so special?
Honestly, when you're cooking together, you know,
Yeah.
a bottle of wine open. My favorite days to cook are Sundays.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
because, you know, usually there's a little football on and
Yeah.
I could do some
I
cooking.
feel like I'm most likely to cook on a Sunday too. During the
Yeah.
week, it is just hard. You're
Gets a
tired,
little
You
crazy.
know?
It is. We're all running a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
So check that out.
Wow.
See?
It looks so
How easy that
smooth
was?
and beautiful. My
All right.
goodness.
at
So
that.
now we've got the shallots going, right? Let's turn that bad boy on. And then we're gonna. Oh,
Caramelization.
another thing. And what's great about the Swiss chard is it's red and it's Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
That's the color.
Yeah.
We're color coordinating. So this is all washed up. I love the stem, and that's where all the nutritional
To
value
include
of
it?
this.
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
I really haven't cooked with Swiss chard very much, so.
I love it. It's
Tasty,
great.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Get your greens. You got to get those greens.
Yeah.
All right. So a little bit of that. We're gonna throw it in that pan with some shallot.
Beautiful. So shallot first, and then we throw the chard in.
Yeah. We just saute
Does chard
some
cook
shallot.
quickly, kind of like
It
spinach
really,
does?
it really does. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll just throw a little bit of salt on there. And you know what? Why not? Let's do another. We got that other half a lip.
Brighten
Meyer
it
lemon.
up.
Yeah.
Brighten it
Boom.
up. Yeah. Beautiful.
All right. So we're gonna just turn the heat off on that and let that bad boy do its thing. All right. We've got, so for the beurre blanc, I did white wine, some fresh thyme. I had some peppercorns in here, and also a little bay leaf. And we're just going to, and that's reduced. You reduce that down by a little bit more than half.
Okay.
Right? Get rid of some of this stuff. How are we doing on time? We doing all right?
Good. We got about 2 minutes.
Okay, I feel like I'm in a cooking competition here. This is fantastic.
You are.
Only
I'm in
with
my
yourself.
element. Let's go. All right, so that's heating up right there. I reduced it, like I said, heating up, and then we're going to butter it out. And maybe you want to do that?
Sure.
All right. Here, so you just add one little thing of butter.
Okay, like with my hands?
Yep,
Okay,
use
is
your
it
hand.
here?
Yep, right in there.
Okay, and now what do you
And
want
then
to scared.
Now whisk that up.
I wasn't
Be
sure
careful
which
because
fan.
that might fall. See how
Okay.
that's kind of
Got
not
it.
stable? And then we've got the pasta sheet here. Okay. All right, okay. What's the other
Oh,
thing?
this smells so good. Beurre blanc.
Beurre blanc.
Beurre blanc.
Very, very French.
What does that mean? Just yummy sauce?
White sauce.
White sauce. Got it.
Okay,
Success.
so we've got some egg, right? The ever so elusive chicken egg these
Yes,
days.
yes.
All right, so I'm gonna brush that pasta right there. See that? And then we're gonna take a little bit of that mixture. And
Plop
I
it
should be
right
able to, I
on
should be able to
there.
get 2 out of this.
Ooh, wonderful.
So voila, one there.
Beautiful.
And then that other sheet right here goes right over the top.
Oh, okay.
I got that all floured up. And then I use the karate chop method.
Oh, I love
okay?
it.
So just kind of, right, just get all that air out of there.
Little kids can get involved in this too, I feel
Yes.
There we go.
And while
Kinda
you're-
just getting all that air, and then you just punch it.
Oh,
add some more butter.
beautiful. Add some more butter.
More
right
butter.
there.
Oh, okay.
You add some more butter. Okay.
All right, we're gonna plate this up, right?
Beautiful.
So there's how you do those raviolis.
Oh, it fell.
There we go, there we go. Now, while we're cooking that up, I want to be sure we talk about some of these delicious wines that we have here that both go really well with what we're cooking here. We got the Megan, and that is a lovely Pinot Noir. And then, of
This is so
course,
fun.
yes, we have, and this is a new one, right? Passing Time.
Yeah, passing time.
Yeah,
That's
beautiful.
Damon Heward and good buddy of mine, Kevin Hughes, making that wine. And thought we'd throw that bad boy on there.
Yeah.
Here goes your ravioli.
Beautiful.
Yummy.
This looks incredible.
And then we're gonna take a little bit of that sauce. I got a spoon in here somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so pretty.
Fantastic.
Right over the top.
Executive
All right.
Chef Bobby Moore with Peace on Main. Thank you so much for stopping by.
You made it.
We did it.
Flowers, make it beautiful. Thanks for joining us.
All around, like sunshine through the clouds.